G'day fellas, how's it going? Welcome to the Lads and Leisure event. Thanks for spending a few moments of your night tonight to come and check out what tonight's event's all about. Who would agree that that you're on here tonight because you're looking for a better way to do life and have a bit more fun and a bit more leisure time? Awesome. And yeah, it's a great to see that there's so many guys tuning in and spending the Wednesday night when you could be out doing all kinds of different things. It's quite a good feat to do. I'll just see if I can zoom in there. There we go. Gallery view. Sorry about that. Okay, boys. Yeah, so who would agree that the world's not in a great place at the moment? There's more people getting sicker, and there's more people, financially unstable in the world. And who'd like to be able to improve on that? So I think we've never been in a worse time in life where things are going that way in extremes. Technology's taken over the world. People are losing their jobs daily. People in FIFO work aren't even able to get back onto that sometimes, and it's getting scarier. There's lots of people in corporate business out there searching for jobs, but the great thing is that technology's really advanced nowadays, and there's so many things out there where people can monetize their time doing what they're already doing and be able to create an extra income online. And that blows me out that you see it more and more, and so it gets me quite inquisitive of how and what that's all about. Now, the other thing that I just touched on is the health. Who would agree that the health statistics in the world, everyone knows somebody with a cancer or diabetes or whatever ailment or illness is on the up increase. It's quite scary, really. So we've got an amazing profession that we're going to talk to you tonight about that helps alleviate some of these problems that are going on for a lot of people. Who would love to be able to learn more about that? Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm going to hand it over to a couple of the fellas here tonight. They're going to give you a quick rundown on what's been going on for them and how they've got to be able to expand on their life and create some success, and also with their health as well. So I think we'll get started straight up and hand it straight over to Les. Are you on the line, mate?
Real good. We're unmuted.
Yeah, brother.
Good stuff. All right, guys. Hey, guys. My name's Les. I'm a concreter here on the Gold Coast. I wasn't really living my best life, guys. Kind of living week to week financially. So I was in search of something more. I became an Uber driver. Seemed like something good to do, a bit of spare time. And the thing that I found was I was still kind of exchanging time for money. I was getting a bit of extra income, but I was just, I was staying up all night, sleeping all Sunday and just missing out on everything that I really wanted to do. So I looked for another profession. And to put it in the most simplest of forms, I found this amazing one. It comes with some amazing products that personally I've been taking now for a fair amount of time. I think it's about 11 months. I've lost 20 kilos, toned up by following the program. But the one thing that I need to speak to you tonight about mostly is the business side of things and the simplicity of it. Now, I've made it even simpler than I did last time when I jumped on. Here I have up here. Can we see this all good, guys? So I've pre-drawn this just to show you how basic this is. This is me. This was me, a little old me 10 months ago. I started a business and, I was up to some new things. So I shared with a few of my friends. I passed it over to my friend Aaron. I let him know a little bit about what I was up. Sorry, 1 second, guys. a little bit about what I was up to. So he shared it with one of my other friends, Rainer. Now, Rainer then shared it on to Dennis, and Dennis shared it on to Jeff. Sorry, it took me a bit to spit that out. It's been a while. So the simplicity of this business is you're really just sharing it on to a few different other people that you know. I never really knew that many people in this business or that many people to start with. And then the simplicity of it is that if I then share it on again to one other person, Aaron shares it on to the next, Rainer does the same, Dennis, and Jeff does, so on and so forth. Now we have all these people within the business with this freedom, this time, and a little bit of extra money for themselves. Now, the next thing that I wanted to ask you guys is a quick question. Now, who here, go on, be honest with me, has heard or listened to or viewed Justin Bieber's Baby song or video on YouTube? Come on, guys. It's a simple question. Oh, it's a pretty good tune. Nah, you're all lying. You're all lying. All of you have seen it and you all love it, okay? It's Magic Baby. Nah. So the reason I mention this, guys, is Justin Bieber has 1.5 billion and probably more now views on YouTube. Now, do you think he shared that with 1.5 billion people? No chance. All he did was create something, and like our business, we've created something and we've shared it now, and it's just got passed along to a few people. And Justin Bieber now is somewhere on an island in Hawaii sipping cocktails, made all this money from just sharing his experiences of what he was doing, his music, and what we're doing is sharing our experiences with this business. It's that simple. You meet some people, you share experience, and that's how you grow your business, guys. And just to let you know, in 4 weeks' time, I'm actually going to Hawaii. So that's kind of a bit of a cliche, but I thought I'd chuck that in there just to let you know, guys, just some of the possibilities that this business has already presented me. So I think I am passing it over to Matt now. Is that correct? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Matty, is he here? He might not be on board.
He's on, mate. You just need to unmute him.
Oh, there he is. Good on you, mate. Should be unmuted. I was looking.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, bro.
Everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Hey, thanks, Les. That was fantastic, mate. Appreciate the heads up. And sorry, guys, I'm on my wife's Zoom, so it says Ricky May instead of Matt. So probably thrown a bit of a curveball there. Look, hi everyone. Welcome. Thanks for having me on tonight, Jamin. I really appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to give you a quick heads up as to my story, me and my wife, Ricky May, a little bit of our history and I guess an epiphany we've had and where we're at now and the type of business that we're building. I come from the 7 years in the corporate world and then basically lost my job and we went into building our own business. We started a business at the markets, a very traditional business. We grew that into, we were turning over about $700,000 a year, mainly online. We had a very niche designer beanbag company. It was pretty cool. We learned a lot about branding and marketing. And I guess for us, we thought, that was it. We had this traditional business and we were growing it and we were constantly growing it. But the challenges that came with it were massive. From the outside, it looked like we had this fantastic business, and it was, but it didn't come without a massive amount of stress and issues. Every time we went to grow, we kept growing. I would walk out and all of our profits were constantly sitting there in stock. So every time I walked out, all of our stock, all of our profits were sitting on a shelf, either in our place or, in the retailers that we had. Our leverage was limited and we were constantly chasing our tail. And when you're in growth in a traditional business, it sucks resource, it sucks time, it sucks money. And, it did our head in. And after 7 years, we got to the point that, we were going backwards. Even though we were turning over more and more, we were going backwards. In small business, it is tough. So we started researching other online or other business opportunities at that point, not even online. And we stumbled across this profession through some very good friends of ours. And to tell you the truth, for the first 2 years, as they talked to us about this profession, I guess all we tried to do, I tried to do, is find faults in it. Trying to find what's going on with us. It just sort of it seemed pretty amazing. And at that time, I realised how much money we'd left on the table by not getting on board and looking at this sooner. So my advice is anyone that's considering that they're going to go and create their own startup business or looking at a franchise or something along those lines, you need to take a good, hard, proper look and take a look at this profession, because it is just absolutely mind-boggling. And I can't believe that this shit's not shown to us a lot earlier. You know, I've got an entrepreneurial spirit in mind, and I've not been able to find a business model that surpasses this. And anyone here that's done traditional business or anything to do with it will appreciate you've got no drop shipping. You've got no stock that you're owning. Everything is drop shipped for you. You don't sit on any stock. You can be in multiple countries around the world. Someone else does all your admin. You've got insane leverage, and you've got the opportunity to create massive amounts of income. So, you know, if any of those things sort of light you up or appeal to you, I'll let some of the other guys talk about, you know, the culture and the amazing things that do accompany the business. I'm just going to be fairly pragmatic with I guess, my views on it. And for this point right now, it's an insane business, guys. And we're pretty lit up about this. It's really changed our whole focus and what we're bringing to the table. So, yeah, guys, look, stoked to be here. And I hope that helps you guys at a more traditional mindset from a business perspective, just where we've come from and the epiphany we've had and the journey that we're on now. So thanks, Jamin. Hope that helps.
All right, Matty, cheers. I'm going to give it to Andy. He's going to give us a rundown on how it's all working and what's been going on, mate.
Thanks, fellas. Anthony's my name. I was previously a chiropractor and loved that. Loved helping people. But as Matt just alluded to, small business comes at a cost. And so if I wasn't seeing people, I didn't get paid. If people didn't turn up, I didn't get paid. And when I did turn up, it means I wasn't with my family. And so as you kind of chase the dream, I thought bigger was better. So we opened 5 of these centres. The goal was to have 100 of them. And, mate, just through life, way out of balance. And so I remember a particular day where we had our 5 centres and the alarm clock went off. The phone rang. The phone rang early hours of the morning, probably 4 a.m. And it was an employee calling in sick. And I remember my wife peeling out of bed, getting ready, and me just thinking to myself, what have I done? Because that chase of trying to do good for your family it comes at a massive cost. And so it was a staff member on the north side of Brisbane. We live down in northern New South Wales, so it's a 2-hour drive. And I remember my wife going to leave out the door, and our little daughter, Zara, at the time would have been 3. And the look in her eyes, like mum's leaving. And Kate just having to get out the door, and her little cries and the nails digging into her leg as she's trying to get out the door. And I'm just like, what have I done? You know? And so I was thinking there's got to be a better way. And there is. So careful what you ask for. So that was about 4 years ago. We've been doing this model of business now for that time. And life is very different from then. You know, when we're a chiropractic in that profession, it was, 12, 14, 16-hour days, very out of balance. And so we got to work with this. And this model of business is about sharing and teaching. Les did a great example there where we traditionally, we share and we network with the things that we enjoy. So if you went and saw a movie, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, what do? You go tell people about it. It was the best movie. You should go check it out. If you had a mate coming into town, wherever you live, and they did a post and said, hey, I'm coming into the Goldie. Mate, where's the best pub? Where should I get coffee? The family's with me. And so I need a babysitter. Most of us would want to go and jump on, say, mate, go to this pub. Oh, I'll hook you up. We've got a great babysitter. You feel good about it. The person feels good about it. But the thing is, money doesn't arrive in your bank account when you do that. And so this is just a way where you get to share what you really have had an amazing experience with. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But you actually monetize that. And so, you know, the stats of the number of people, the hours that they're spending on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever the next thing is ridiculous. And so this is a way that you can monetize that time just by doing some very specific posts. The other thing is it's all very much a system. You know, you are literally purchasing a franchise when you do this. But instead of it costing you, you know, go buy a Macca's franchise, you start at $1 million. Most franchises, you're looking at $400,000-$500,000. And you're not expected to make a profit until at least 2-3 years down the track. With this model, mate, depending on where you're at, it'll cost you somewhere between $50 and $200. And you follow our system, and mate, you'll have that all back in your pocket within the first month, and then some. And so it's just a very unique way of looking at life, looking at business. And I think a lot of people think, oh, it's too good to be true. You know, if it's got to be too good to be true, because where does that come from? We watched our parents work their butts off, their parents work their butts off, and invested a lot of time and energy for us to have what we have. But we're in a different world. We're in a different time where there is technology. You think about right now, we're sitting somewhere and we're Zooming across the world. Mate, I only watched that shit when I was little in Star Wars. You know what I mean? And soon it'll be holograms. So if you're not keeping up with the technology, you're not understanding how to monetize your time, what you already love to do, that's really what we do. And it's in a profession where you think about if someone has stress in their life, they're not a nice person. Think about the stress that's in your life. What are the things that stress us? Finances, health, lack of it, relationships. And so this is really a program. We've got some amazing products you're going to hear about in a second that help do those two things, drastically reduce the stress in people's lives. And by sharing those things, helps put money in your bank account, which is a huge relief of stress for a lot of people. And then, as Les said, it's done in a way where you're not exchanging time for money anymore. And, you know, that's just one of the old wealth principles. If it all comes back to you, mate, if you're not there, and so you can't create long-term wealth. With this, you have that ability to leverage your time. So us 4 years on now, a typical day, I'll get up, I'll work out with a few of these fellas online, take my kids to school, go for a surf, connect with a few people online. But really my time's my own. The last, 12 months ago with Jamin, we went to the Maldives, surfed for a couple of weeks on a boat. And that's the kind of lifestyle that this model affords. So I'm going to stop rambling on. I get pretty worked up. And let's start to hear about the products and also the results that this is having in people's lives.
Thanks, mate. We're going to jump straight over to Craig. He's got an awesome story. Tell us what's been going on, mate.
Hey, fellas. How are you? What's going on? So my name's Craig. I'm an ex-soldier from 2CR here in Brizzy. I hurt myself in a training accident near 2 years ago now. And basically at the time I didn't know what I did and how bad the injury was. But I ended up basically pretty much nearly tearing my ATFL, which is like the main ligament that holds your ankle together in place. As a silly soldier, you push on and you get through it, and got up to Brizzy. I spent pretty much 3 months rehabbing, doing all those things, got up to Brizzy, was put on Ready Battle Group, so basically I was ready to go anywhere at any time. Didn't want to go to the doctor and say, my ankle's hurting, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, the short of the long of it is I was medically discharged this year in January. I had 2 surgeries in that time. The amount of inflammation and pain that I was having was ridiculous. I was on painkillers, anti-inflams, for a good part of the year. And I was shown the product by my partner. And basically, I was a very big skeptic at the time and thinking, oh, come on, really? Like fruits, veggies, and berries? Seriously? This is going to help me? And I took it because I was at that last resort. I needed something to happen for me. And so I did. And within 3 to 4 weeks, the changes I experienced were ridiculous. The inflammation had pretty much gone by over half. The pain I was getting was pretty much gone. My appetite had changed. I wasn't, wanting shitty foods like, sugar, and I was just craving better foods basically. And for me, it was great. I've been on the products now for about 7 months. I am now freer than I ever have been in regards to being able to walk, run, etc. I'm now back playing competitive baseball again, which is a major passion of mine, which I never thought I'd ever do. So for me to have those results within a short period of time was nothing short of a miracle for me. I can't speak any more highly of it. It's amazing. So for me, it's done a lot of things for my family as well. For my father, especially with his high blood pressure and gout, has pretty much gone. His blood pressure has been the best it's ever been. So for me, and for the changes it's done for me and my family, is nothing, like I said, short of truly amazing. So yeah, I'm happy to share it. So cheers, boys.
Awesome, mate. That's brilliant. Love it. It's never blows me away even more every time I hear it and hear other stories of what's going on. For me, I came on board with the tribal wellness and the products mainly because I'd had a head-on car crash, injured my back. I actually went to Ant's clinic when he was a chiro, and just for an adjustment, and said, can you click me back into place? And he's like, well, the adjustments are going to work, but have you thought about taking these products? And I hadn't really thought about them because I already thought I was healthy and I was juicing and doing all these fit things and feeling pretty good, but my back was still killing me. I was trying to do all the physio stuff that I could and everything like that, but I was still on the painkillers. And cut a long story short, I just thought, well, why not? I've tried everything else. He said, it might help the inflammation. And I was like, well, yeah, that's, a big call. So I'll give it a go. I've tried everything else. And within a couple of weeks of taking them, I didn't have the stabbing and the back pain feeling I'd been putting up with for years. And I was off the painkillers within probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I was sleeping better, I was concentrating better, all these different things over a period of time. I was just noticing more and more and feeling a lot more alert and just felt another level of health and vitality. I just couldn't believe that was possible because I already felt pretty good. I was eating pretty good and that kind of thing, because previous to that head-on car crash 9 years before, I'd had a head-on car crash. I'd been run over by a drunk driver, and broke my back and pelvis. So looking at me now, you'd never know. I'd rebuilt my body to get to that stage. So that's why I was on this, venture to get fit and healthy. And so anyway, these products, you're probably wondering what they all are. Basically what they are is 30 different varieties of fruit, veggies and berries in a capsule. You've got a vegetable blend, a fruit blend and a berry blend, grown to the peak time of ripeness, vine ripened when they're the most nutrient dense. And then they get juiced up and dehydrated at a very low temperature and extracted all the moisture content out, which leaves all the phytonutrients, all the living enzymes, and they're encapsulated into a vegan capsule so it doesn't get a chance to oxidize. When you eat an apple, it starts to go brown. This stuff doesn't allow that to happen because it's just food and you want to preserve it in its best format. Most of us will go to the supermarket and eat fruit and veggies, pick them off the wherever we're going to buy them from and look for the best ones. And that's not always the case that they're the most nutrient dense, because more often than not, most fruit and veggies have been picked early, or they're gassed, or they're sprayed, or they're sitting on a shelf for a long time. They just do not have the nutrient content. And also because of the soils that grow in. The soils that these capsules that the fruit and veggies are grown on are grown in such nutrient dense soils. They've been with farmers over 4 different generations. They're tested over 4 different times to get into that capsule. So for any contaminants or anything like that, there's no GMO or pesticides or any kind of nasties growing in them, and it's just fruit, veggies, and berries. So just in the veggie alone, you've got carrot, kale, cabbage, rice bran, broccoli, tomato, garlic, parsley, spinach, and oat bran. You know, in the fruit blend, you've got apple, pineapple, peach, prune, orange, cranberry, papaya, beetroot, acai, cherries, and dates. And in the berries, there's 8 different types of berries. Have a think about what a punnet of berries cost you at the supermarket. Just blueberries alone are $4 to $6, and they're gone in 1 or 2 smoothies. You know, this you're getting grape, raspberry, bilberry, blueberry, cranberry, pomegranate, blackberry, elderberry, artichoke, cacao, and black currant, which is brilliant. Just to be able to get all of that, wham bam, thank you ma'am, straight down the gob first thing in the morning. It's really blows my mind to think that, you know, you could go and juice all of that, but how much is that going to cost you? You know, it's pretty expensive to get all those same ingredients and combine them all together, and it's bloody time consuming, right? Most of us are out the door straight up off to work, so you just swig it down in some water and off you go. Bob's your uncle. It's unreal. The great thing about these powders is that they get mixed with a tapioca, vegetable pectin to get formed into a soft chewable version for children. Now, the company called Juice Plus that produces all of this, they give these chewable versions away to any child between 4 and 18 if an adult's on the product. So it's unreal. I don't have kids, but these soft little gummies, and kids absolutely love them. I do too. And they are experiencing some amazing changes. A lot of parents I know, their kids, their palates have changed now, so they're eating more fruit and vegetables because it works on a cellular level. It's feeding that body, and they're craving more. So what you are is what you eat, right? You've all heard that. And you eat more fruit and veggies, your body's going to want more fruit and veggies. So kids are out there, they're digging in the fridge now, eating tomatoes and carrots and all kinds of goodies that their folks would be struggling to give them. So that really blows my mind. We have a preview group in the tribal wellness movement that, you know, if you're looking to learn more about, you can check out some of the other testimonies or some of the families in there. They've got some kids in there with that. Just, it never ceases to amaze me what it's doing to some of these kids. You know, they're not missing school anymore, and they're having less sick days. Like it's really awesome. Now it's a really basic, these are all your micronutrients, and there's a ton of research to go with it. This is one of the reasons why I really was like, wow, this is the real deal. There's over 36 peer-reviewed medical studies worldwide published in medical journals around the globe, which is phenomenal to be able to get that. It's the most thoroughly researched nutraceutical product in the world. You won't find another product anything like it. And it's not a vitamin. You know, vitamins and things like that, they're made in labs. They're compounded and fractured. You know, they just basically disco wee, expensive urine. You piss it out, just like when you have a Barocca. You think to yourself, wow, I feel better, but all of what for 5 minutes, and you've wasted your money. This, you're feeling unreal all day. It's like having a sports car. You're going to put the best fuel in it. And this is what this is about. And speaking of fuel, the best fuel to put in your body is the macronutrients. These powders are another 17 blends of superfoods, which are brilliant. There's a chocolate and a vanilla. And I love these shakes. I throw them into my smoothies, and every day, like sometimes I said, it's a busy day, right? You know, smoko lasts for 15 minutes. If you're lucky, 20 minutes. Sometimes some blokes don't even have lunch. I've worked 12-hour days where I've been on the go the whole time. And by the arvo, you're searching for some drink, just something to get you rocking through the rest of the arvo. These are unreal. Banana peel. They've got pomegranate. They've got some weird, funky shit in them that tastes kind of pretty out there. But when it's blended up in these formulas, it's the best thing. So, you know, Aramis, pea protein, pomegranate, pumpkin powder, spirulina, you name it. It's got the portobello mushroom in there, which is the highest form of plant protein you can get besides the sun, of vitamin D. And we're all told vitamin D's out there, the sun's out there to kill us, you know. So this is brilliant to be able to get those extra nutrients in our body. Basically, all of this is doing is bridging the gap between what we are eating and what we know we should be eating. None of us eat nearly enough fruit and veggies on a day-to-day basis. So this is brilliant. I know some blokes out there think that a bit of salad on a burger's, they're done for the day, you know. This is just an awesome way to get the extra goodness back in your body. And we've got a fairly recent product which has come out, and this is by far something that's done my body and absolute miracles. And I was kind of like, yeah, righto, I've taken fish oil and everything before. This is an omega blend of plants, so it doesn't come from fish. It's just absolutely mind-blowing what this has done to me. Having all these injuries, my joints and muscles and that cramp up, especially my knees. They've been pretty smashed up, and I've been a boat builder all my life, so working on my knees, they're not too crash hot, and they used to start to groan and click and carry on. And I thought, oh, it's a combo of getting old and the injuries, which was absolutely didn't blew that theory out. Once I got taken these things, I feel unreal, like I'm 21 again, can run a marathon. And we've got one of the boys here, Les, he's running marathons, and I'm pretty sure he downs them every day. Keeps his body in tip-top shape. He just ran the marathon in the Goldie, and he was back to work concreting the next morning, you know. So it's pretty unreal what adding some extra goodness in your body can do. It never ceases to amaze me hearing different stories. Like I said, if you want to find out more about it, get in touch with the guy who sent you the link, or the person that sent you this link and the recording, and get your questions answered. I know I had a ton of questions. There's plenty of research. If you want to check that out, you can see all of that for yourself. So yeah, guys, that's about it for us. Thanks for jumping on board. And like all I'd say to you is, you know, have a think about what if this could be something for you. I've got no idea, but it makes a lot of sense. And you know, seriously, you can do this in a shorter space of time every day. You're already face scrolling. You might as well be making some money out of it. You know, you've got a smartphone for a reason, and you know, thinking about them surf trips or their motorbike adventures, their camping trips or fishing trips or snowboarding adventures or whatever you wanted to be doing with your mates, and you see them on the holiday doing that, and you're stuck at work going, shit, yeah, you know, should have saved some dollars towards that. What if this could put some extra bucks in your bank account so that you could go on those trips? You wouldn't have to be sitting there kicking yourself. That's all it's about, you know, and then you can just go from there. And some people can take on the world and do whatever you want. It's as big as you want to make it. So thanks, boys. Love your time, and I'll stop recording.